Tonight, the U.S. and more than a dozen allies are conducting military exercises in the Black Sea.
2:47 a.m., Baltic Sea. A Russian Kilo-class submarine glides through icy waters near Sweden's Gotland Island, closing in on a critical data cable carrying trillions in financial transactions and NATO military intelligence. Just under 1,000 feet from the target, the Russian technical team prepares a specialized cutting tool. The invisible spinal cord of the Western Alliance hangs by a thread. Nearby, a P-8A Poseidon patrol aircraft, the USS Winston S. Churchill destroyer, and Swedish submarines form a silent net, the only barrier between Russian sabotage and economic chaos. Passive sensors activate. All systems switch to silent tracking mode. Every weapon station locks, waiting for the perfect moment. The Kremlin thinks its black hole submarine is undetectable. But in just 18 minutes, the U.S. Navy, NATO forces, and integrated kill chain technology launch a surgical interdiction the Russians never saw coming. What really happened in that underwater confrontation? Subscribe to the channel and like the video. For years, in the Baltic Sea region, Russia operated semi-covert submarines, deployed underwater drones, and tested sabotage tactics against critical infrastructure. Every month, mysterious cable cuts and pipeline damages occur without definitive attribution to any nation. From NATO intelligence fusion centers, faint acoustic intercepts begin matching unusual submarine movements. Then the pattern emerges: hybrid warfare operations. This is a strategy that invented an entirely different combat method. Not direct missile strikes, not naval battles, but invisible infrastructure attacks. Reports confirm Russia is using Kilo-class submarines, specifically the improved variant, moving in calculated silence. All submarines use advanced anechoic coding that is nearly invisible to passive sonar. They depart from Kaliningrad naval bases, then converge at blind spots in international waters, an area within NATO expanded territorial boundaries, outside normal merchant shipping lanes. This time, they're targeting a data cable worth billions, enough to paralyze financial systems and NATO command and control if successfully severed. The Russian submarine will execute the mission solo, relying entirely on acoustic stealth. NATO intelligence understands instantly. No single European patrol vessel or conventional sonar net can track a Kilo operating at 3 knots in complex Baltic acoustic conditions. To intercept one, you must deploy the full spectrum of U.S. anti-submarine warfare technology. NATO sends a special coordination request to the U.S. Navy. The 3 forces combine, American, Swedish, and German, forming a joint maritime task force with one mission: set an acoustic cage at sea and wait for the Kilo to expose itself. The operation is named Taurus Strike. In the joint command room aboard the USS Churchill, the Navy analyzes magnetic and acoustic data provided by NATO intelligence. If a Kilo-class submarine runs at 3 knots with electric propulsion, its acoustic signature nearly vanishes into background ocean noise, creating minimal signals that fool most passive sonar arrays. The Swedish Navy confirms what NATO intelligence suspected. No conventional surface vessel can detect that signature, especially when operating in thermocline layers. The US Navy proposes the only viable plan: don't chase the submarine blindly. Force it to reveal itself in a preset sensor net. Charts are enlarged. Between 2 underwater ridge formations lies the cable route with limited maneuvering space, where any submarine wanting to reach the target must pass through a narrow corridor. If the Kilo moves as NATO predicts, it'll enter this corridor where every acoustic advantage disappears. They just have to wait. Force preparation begins immediately. The USS Winston S. Churchill is designated as the command hub for the integrated kill chain. Overhead, a P-8A Poseidon deploys a massive sonobuoy network. Passive DFAR, directional command active, and magnetic anomaly detector systems, equipped to create an acoustic sensor net covering 100 square nautical miles. A Swedish A-26 Gotland-class submarine positions at the outer ring to provide acoustic jamming capability. 2 German frigates form the final surface blocking layer, ready to track any attempt to retreat from the interdiction zone. close-range weapons are assigned to the Churchill's Mk-41 vertical launch system, carrying RUM-139ASRO-C anti-submarine rockets that can deliver torpedoes directly above a locked target with pinpoint accuracy. While the Navy assembles forces, NATO intelligence provides priority data. Captain Romanov commanding the Kilo, known for aggressive operations. Files show the highest value target is the submarine itself at the moment of attempted sabotage. If the Churchill locks target at that moment, the operation ends instantly. 2:47 a.m. The Baltic Sea lies still. The P-8. A Poseidon suddenly receives the first signal. A massive magnetic anomaly, moving slowly, ultra-quiet propulsion, on a precise vector toward the cable. Poseidon's analysis software concludes. Kilo-class profile. The exact signature NATO intelligence warned about. Poseidon's combat team immediately pushes data to the task force. Target alert sounds. At that moment, the command center on the Churchill shifts mode. The entire tactical display switches to interdiction status simultaneously. Poseidon scans 2 more passes, adding acoustic correlation and depth estimation. The third scan confirms the Kilo has reached within 1,000 feet of the cable. Its speed holds steady at 3 knots. Shortly after, it nearly vanishes into thermal layers. Inside the Churchill, Commander Evelyn Hayes stands at the tactical console. She rechecks firing solutions, data links, weapon readiness, and coordination protocols, just to ensure the Kilo cannot detect NATO's presence. 3:02 a.m. The Kilo reaches the cable's exact location. That's the moment the task force calculated weeks in advance. At this position, the submarine must slow down to near 0 knots and open external valves to deploy cutting equipment. The moment those valves open, acoustic silence breaks. By 3:03 a.m., Poseidon switches to high confidence lock. It continuously updates magnetic data, sending packets every second. U.S. and NATO ships remain electronically silent. Just then, Poseidon reports a critical event, a tiny mechanical click detected by passive DFAR sonobuoys. The Kilo's external valve opening. This signals the submarine executing the sabotage mission. But this valve operation creates a minute acoustic signature, exactly what the sensor net was designed to capture. On the Churchill, Commander Hayes keeps hands near the console. She knows locking the target at the moment of provocation is critical. Moreover, any premature action could allow the submarine to abort and escape. The Russians know standard NATO response times, but what they don't know is tonight, they're not facing standard protocols. They're facing the integrated U.S. kill chain. Shortly after, the decisive confirmation arrives. The magnetic anomaly data matches Kilo specifications with 98% confidence. Shortly after, Commander Hayes steps back. Target confirmed. The Kilo is positioned to commit sabotage. Any plausible deniability has evaporated. In one instant, the moment the task force planned for officially happens. The black hole submarine fully exposes itself at the worst possible location. On Commander Hayes' screen, the entire data display centers on one undeniable target signature. No one aboard the Kilo knows they've been locked by the most sophisticated anti-submarine warfare system ever deployed against a hybrid threat. At 3:04 a.m., the Swedish A-26 submarine fires first. Not a torpedo, but an acoustic shock weapon. A massive jamming device detonates above the Kilo, flooding the water with overwhelming sound. The Kilo's sonar systems go completely blind, registering only piercing white noise. Inside the Russian submarine, confusion erupts. Captain Romanov yells for status reports. His passive hydroacoustic arrays detect nothing but chaos. Then, the next shock arrives. The Churchill fires. Not a live ASROC, but an unmistakable demonstration. From the Mk-41 vertical launch system, a training ESSM missile, stripped of warhead but transmitting precise GPS data, launches skyward at Mach 3. 30 seconds later, the training missile crashes into the sea directly above the Kilo's position. No explosion, but the message is unmistakable. Following immediately, the P-8A drops 6 active sonar buoys in a perfect pattern surrounding the submarine. Those boys begin blasting powerful acoustic pings. For the Kilo, absolute silence shatters under deafening active sonar. The entire hull begins resonating. Captain Romanov suddenly sees multiple new contacts on his display emitting coordinated pings. He knows exactly what that means. Total acoustic lock. But even more terrifying, he receives one ultrasonic data burst transmitted through the sonar network. A single coordinate, his exact position, accompanied by a cold digital message. Target locked. Disengage immediately. Failure to comply will result in escalation. The transmitted coordinate matches his navigation data with an error margin of less than 16 feet. At 3:05 a.m., Romanov looks at his tactical display. No longer invisible, trapped in an acoustic cage. He understands the training missile proved the point. Aegis can target his position with absolute precision. If that had been a live ASROC, his submarine would be finished. Romanov makes the only rational choice. All stations abort the mission. Retreat at maximum speed. He had blinked. The invisible provocation ended in public failure. NATO forces document everything. In the Baltic, the Churchill systems record the Kilo's full acoustic signature at 17 knots during retreat, marking every cavitation frequency, propeller harmonic, and hull resonance under specific water conditions, with sonar profiles that hold speed correlations, depth characteristics, thermal signatures, and unique mechanical fingerprints. Enough for NATO to instantly identify this specific Kilo in any future encounter. Within 48 hours, U.S. intelligence analyzes thousands of data points, confirming Russia's hybrid warfare network extends across the Baltic, plus identifying backup submarines, coordination protocols, sabotage equipment specifications, and planned target infrastructure. This data unveils a complete map of Russia's underwater sabotage capability, built over years. Moscow stays completely silent. No official statement, no denial issued. The image of a supposedly invisible Kilo-class submarine preparing infrastructure sabotage, only to suddenly flee in acoustic chaos, becomes an undeniable intelligence disaster. The cost to Russia, humiliation, and the permanent loss of one submarine's acoustic anonymity. For the U.S. Navy, a cold professional victory. They didn't need to sink the $300 million boat. They only had to prove they could, with absolute precision, within 90 seconds of target confirmation. This victory was a statement of overwhelming technological dominance. Commander Hayes and her crew returned to patrol status, operations resuming normal rhythm. But everyone understood the Baltic had fundamentally changed. The biggest lesson from this brief confrontation isn't missile speed, but the unbeatable integration of American combat systems. How do you think this confrontation will alter Russia's strategy in the Baltic Sea? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Share your perspective, and let us know which technological battle you'd like us to break down next. Catch you on the next mission.